when there has been a glimpse, a profound opening, a realization, a deepening into being. And yet the question remains, how do I integrate this into my life? It's especially pertinent or common question when my life seems diametrically opposed, or at least different to the paradigm, the dimension, the field that is experienced at a spiritual gathering or a gathering of friends who also have deepened into being. How does this opening, how does this deepening, how does this realization filter into ordinary, everyday life, relationships, everyday activities, everyday concerns, work, family, money, and so on. The question has popped up in at least one session, and it pops up in different ways. The main pointer is that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to integrate it. There's no further practice of embodiment. What is valuable to nurture is a sensitivity, an inner sensitivity to the truth that has been realized, to the softening of identity or loosening of identity that is taking place gradually, has taken place. A sensitivity to that means that when you're in the midst of everyday life, work, relationships, and so on, navigating society, the world, the collective build-up or the collective momentum of egoic ways of being, egoic ways of acting or reacting, the egoic paradigm may still have a pull or an impact. That shows up as seeking approval, seeking recognition, seeking fulfillment from something outside of you, filling the void. If there is still a pull unconsciously to fill the void, it could be as mundane as habitually reaching for the packet of biscuits when you actually don't really need that. Some distraction, whether it's through seeking company, seeking entertainment. It's not that these activities in themselves are wrong or bad. There is nothing sinful. It's only the distraction from that which is true, which is no longer required when wholeness, completeness of your true nature has been realized. For embodiment, which means simply living the truth, walking in the world as the light of being, being in the world but not of the world, to really be full so that you are the light of the world, then these unconscious, karmic, ancestral, collective momentums need to loosen their grip. So it's not about a top-down thing. It's not about changing your lifestyle. It's not about controlling your behavior. It's not about being a perfect spiritual person. So it's not about having a different routine or program. It's about an inner sensitivity to the inner wholeness, the enoughness that is already here. So that when some ancient, archaic, egoic pattern pulls, it no longer has any juice for you. It may do, or it may not, but you only find out through this inner sensitivity. So you walk in your life, if you like, one step, metaphorically, with a lightness. Sensitivity is lightness. You don't force this. But you don't overlay it with, well, I'm in the world now and this is how it is. But when I'm being spiritual and at retreat, this is how it is. They're not two worlds in you. They are two worlds in some ways. But in you, when the realization is falling in, there are not two worlds. There is only the world of infinite being. So the change, if there is a change, doesn't come from controlling the outside, managing the outside so that it conforms to the inner realization. It's the inner realization that permeates what we may call the outside, the world, your life, your relationships, your interactions. And that must happen naturally, not through force. But yet there is initially at first a delicacy to that, a delicacy. So that one of the things that prevents, if you like, or blocks that full embodiment are things like guilt, obligation, duty, shame. And these can all emerge in the area of relationships, in the area of sex, in the area of money, in the area of all areas of the of life. Yeah? To move with no guilt, with no shame, with no sense of obligation, with no need to please other, no need to please the world, no need to please society, no need to please family, no need to please, no need for approval, no need for recognition, no need to belong. These are all facets of the egoic paradigm, the egoic mind, the egoic self. To be free is not to just do whatever you want but it is not to be driven by shoulds and shouldn'ts. This is subtle at first, but also completely radical as it fully comes in to all aspects of life. What it looks like, if you like, or what the change is that you walk quietly in the world. It doesn't mean that you don't speak. It doesn't mean that you're totally silent. It doesn't mean that you're held back. But you don't have to shout. In fact, you don't shout about spiritual identity. You don't, the whole thing about spiritual and human just collapses. You don't see yourself as a spiritual being, a spiritual self. There aren't two worlds. Only on the level of mind and beliefs. Core beliefs are there two worlds. But in you, there is no longer a dichotomy. There is no longer a division. So you walk quietly in the world. You operate quietly in the world. You don't have to do spiritual things. You don't have to wear spiritual clothes. You don't have to look like a spiritual person. You interact quietly, softly, lightly. Again, it's not about managing the personality. It's not about controlling your personhood. It's from the inside out. In this way, you illuminate the world with the light of being, but not because you're telling others or shouting about it or needing to be seen. And what happens in that is that many activities or even relationships, interactions will fall away because those interactions or activities were only feeding the self that was believed itself not to be enough and was seeking fulfillment from something, was seeking love, was seeking approval. And I mean love in the transactional sense, to be loved, so that I can feel good about myself. It doesn't mean that we just become like monks and nuns, and you can play in the leela of life. It doesn't mean we take a vow of poverty. We don't withdraw. On the contrary, we can play in the leela. Shame and guilt about abundance or about joy or about enjoyment all fall away. And so that form is not taken so seriously, because all forms pass. Whether it's the form of the body or the form of what we have, and yet form serves a function, the body serves a function. Our homes serve a function. This building serves a function. So form becomes more functional in a way that serves love, serves the light,